step politely right on through. So I don't know to your right. She goes left, you stay right. Swing the lines, fear and blame. You begin to wonder why you came. Where did I go wrong? Lost friends, we're alone in this town. I'll stay there with you all night, and I know how to say goodnight.
Good morning, family and friends of Sue Ann Jacobs. My name is Victoria Peat and I am a funeral celebrant. I apologise for the short delay in getting started today, but there was a scheduling problem that has now been rectified. All deaths are devastating, be it from illness, accident or old age. Not yet even when you are expecting it, it is still devastating, sad and heartbreaking. But to lose someone as young as Sue Ann, and in the manner in which she died, it could not have been more devastating. A young life cut short, a young life that will no longer bring joy to those around her, the milestones of adult life no longer possible. The family has asked that I talk about her death and her struggles, not to sugarcoat them, so others may see the signs and offer help where needed. We are gripped with a range of emotions, the sadness over the loss of someone so gifted, talented, loving and special. Some of us are angry because we have been left behind and because we didn't get an opportunity to help. Some of us are having feelings of guilt because we didn't see the signs, or we feel like we could have done more. And all of us are asking why. How could it have come to this? Why didn't she ask for help? Here are a few lines from a poem called Broken Heart. I know the way I left you wasn't the easiest way to leave. I'm sorry I couldn't make it easier, somehow lessen all the grief. And you see, I've been struggling for some time with a broken heart. My best efforts to repair it couldn't begin to start. To take away the pain I felt, to help me feel some hope, my spirit was daily dying and I lost the strength to cope. Sue Ann was born into a loving family, a family that loved and cared for her. Sue Ann was the firstborn to Mary and James. She was born on the 2nd of February 1999. Sue Ann was also the first granddaughter to Ted and Dot and Bill and Sarah. She had the undivided attention of all these adults for 3 years until her brother Paul was born, followed by Celine a year later. She had an endless supply of aunts and uncles, ready and willing to babysit and take her on outings. Sue Ann was happy, bright and an engaging child. Sue Ann was academically above average, very sporty, winning netball grand finals 3 years in a row. Sue Ann only had a few friends in primary school, but these are very close friends that are here today. Although Sue Ann was bright, she was also very easily distracted and would have trouble focusing on that task at hand. At the age of 12, Sue Ann's mother found her in the backyard, laying on her back, arms folded over her chest and flowers arranged all around her. Mary asked Sue Ann what was she doing. She remarked, I just want to know what it feels like to be dead. Mary laughed and thought it was just childish play. Mary began to worry when these sort of things happened more and more often. At 13, Mary sought help for Sue Ann to no avail. At 14, Sue Ann began to self-harm. When asked why she was doing it, Sue Ann replied, I want to feel physical pain like the pain in my head. Again, Mary sought hope, and this time she found it. However, high school brought more and more anguish for Sue Ann. She repeatedly remarked that she had no friends, everybody hated her, and everyone would be better off if she was dead. The last 6 years were hell for the family, always so vigilant to Sue Ann's moods and emotions. Mary and James thought that when high school was finished, that might ease Sue Ann's anxiety. Unfortunately, it didn't. Sue Ann would spend more and more time on her own and locking herself in her room and refusing to leave the house. During these times, there were periods of Sue Ann were happy and carefree. The family would hope that this was a turning point. Finally, she was getting better. Alas, this was not the case. After 3 failed attempts, last week on Wednesday afternoon, an afternoon no different from any other, Mary came home to find that Sue Ann had ended her life. Sue Ann had no concept of the devastation she would leave behind. She felt that she was helping her family by not being there to cause them any more grief. Sue Ann's mental illness was not her fault, not the fault of her family, nor her friends. There was ultimately nothing anyone could do to avoid the outcome. I will ask Sue Ann's sister, Celine, to come up and share a few words with us.
On behalf of my family, I would like to thank you all for being here to help put Sue Ann to rest. There is a giant elephant in the room, and the only way I can banish it is to tackle it head on. Chemical depression is a physical disease. It causes a chemical imbalance in the brain that makes it very difficult to feel happy or sometimes anything at all. Sue Ann's struggle began before she was 10 years old. But Sue Ann was always so quick with a joke, or a smile, or a funny face, or a hand just when you needed one. From the outside, with the optimism she could inspire, this was incredibly hard to see. Sue Ann was always very sensitive. She had one of the biggest hearts I've seen crammed into a person. She gave her time, her strength, her knowledge and her smile. It was our smiles that gave her the coping mechanisms to get her through the struggle day after day. But it was not possible for any of us to fight this battle for her. What's happened is so incredibly unfair and so sudden that it seems senseless. And while we can never know for sure the reasons that led to this tragedy, it is possible to understand Sue Ann's struggle with depression. Depression lies. It tells you that you are nothing. It tells you you can do nothing and you have nothing to give to those that love you. Well, Sue Ann helps all of us. She gave so much. Sue Ann was very, very loved. Depression steals. This is the way that someone so kind-hearted, so loving and so beloved could leave us. This is why Sue Ann was taken from us all by such a cruel surprise. And so, as we try to cope with the terrible loss of our sister, our cousin, our niece, our friend, I would like you to keep something in mind. Do not anguish yourselves in a vain wish to understand a moment that can never be understood. Wish instead that Sue Ann knew that she was loved. Do not blame yourselves and don't blame each other. Understand now that Sue Ann's painful struggle is finally over and that she may finally find the peace that she fought so hard for in life. Thank you.
I would ask you now to pause for quiet reflections as the Jacobs family reveals to us some of the fondest memories of Sue Ann. The music to accompany this presentation is from Beethoven's Symphony No. 9 in D minor, one of Sue Ann's most beloved pieces by one of her favourite composers. popularly known as Ode to Joy. She wanted it to represent triumph of human spirit, even over death. They were lovely memories of Sue Ann. We are here this morning in order to pay our last respects and bid a sad but fond farewell to Sue Ann. We are here also so that in our own way we can celebrate, honour and pay tribute to her life. In doing so, we express our sincere love and admiration for her. Now is but a moment in time. I dedicate the next few moments to every single precious memory associated with Sue Ann. To everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose on earth, a time to be born and a time to die. Here is this final act in sorrow but without fear, in love and appreciation. We commit the body of Sue Ann Jacobs to be cremated. The family of Sue Ann thanks you for coming today. By the amount of people that are here, they are heartened that people really did love Sue Ann and came to farewell her. Give courage and faith to those who are bereaved, that they may have the strength to meet the days ahead in the comfort of a reasonable and holy hope, in the joyful expectation of eternal life with those they love. Amen. Refreshments will be served in the room adjacent to the chapel. If you would please leave by the door to your left. Again, thank you for attendance. And here's one of Sue Ann's favourite songs.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the you by the resurrection where to go. Don't